Imagine stepping into the heart of a tranquil forest, only to stumble upon a village frozen in time. Houses stand perfectly intact, their doors invitingly ajar. Meals remain untouched on tables, yet an eerie silence permeates the air. No life stirs, no sound echoes, just a heavy, unsettling quiet that whispers of something profoundly amiss. You might assume this village was abandoned ages ago, but the truth is far more perplexing. Its inhabitants vanished in a single night, leaving behind their lives as if they had simply evaporated from the face of the earth without explanation or trace. This is not a work of fiction, but a real-life enigma that unfolded in the 18th century in a Swedish village named Kafor, where every single resident disappeared, the reason remaining an enduring mystery to this day. What fate befell this village? Was it the work of a curse, a clandestine experiment, or is there a truth that someone desperately wants to keep hidden? Join us as we delve into one of the most bizarre collective disappearances in history. Nestled in the remote southern reaches of Sweden, bordering the serene landscapes of Norway, lay the village of Kafor. Encircled by dense woods and pristine lakes, its rugged geography fostered an isolation far removed from the bustle of larger towns. Here, the inhabitants lived a simple, peaceful existence, their lives deeply intertwined with the rhythms of agriculture and animal husbandry. Kafor was a small community, home to roughly 100 to 200 souls, the majority belonging to tightly knit families who formed a cohesive society, supporting one another and sharing a deep familiarity. The villagers tended towards seclusion, preferring the quietude of their own company and avoiding excessive interaction with neighboring villages, steadfastly preserving their traditions and tranquil way of life. Despite the simplicity of their existence, the village enjoyed a remarkable stability. Its records spoke of no wars, no plagues, and no external threats. Relations with neighboring villages were amicable, though social interaction remained limited. In the days preceding the inexplicable vanishing, the few visitors who ventured into Kafor, such as the occasional passing traders, noticed a subtle yet unsettling shift in the atmosphere. Some residents appeared anxious and distracted, their usual demeanor clouded by an unusual unease. They seemed hesitant to speak of their worries, yet there were no outward signs of illness or immediate danger, such as warfare or natural disasters. The events leading up to the disappearance remained shrouded in mystery. This pervasive sense of fear and apprehension that gripped the villagers for no apparent reason continues to deepen the enigma surrounding that fateful night when the entire village vanished without a trace. In the twilight of the days before Kafor's complete disappearance, visiting merchants who were infrequent but regular figures in the village began to sense an anomaly. They described an atmosphere that felt palpably off-kilter. The villagers appeared burdened by unspoken anxieties, their gazes troubled and their attentions scattered. There was no visible sickness, no evidence of conflict, yet a disquieting hum pervaded the community. Whispers drifted from the homes, glances were furtive, and even the children, normally a source of vibrant laughter in the streets, were unusually subdued. Some residents spoke in hushed tones of unsettling dreams, frightening visions, and inexplicable nocturnal sounds. Rumors circulated of shadows flickering at the edge of the woods and mysterious lights shimmering in the distant sky. These subtle signs, though not significant enough to trigger alarm bells, painted a picture of a village held captive by an unseen fear, a fear whose source remained elusive until the night Kafor vanished entirely. On a seemingly ordinary morning in the year 1754, as the sun's gentle rays began to filter through the dense forests of southern Sweden, a local trader approached the familiar boundaries of Kafor, anticipating his usual weekly visit. But as he entered the village, an unnerving stillness washed over him. The silence was deafening. No children's laughter, no movement in the streets, not even the bark of a dog broke the oppressive quiet. The doors of the houses stood wide open, as if the inhabitants had just stepped out in haste. Meals sat warm on some of the tables, as though someone was about to partake and then suddenly disappeared. The hearths still held the warmth of recent fires, extinguished mere moments before. Animals wandered freely in the yards, some hungry and whimpering. But what truly chilled the trader to the bone was the complete absence of any human presence. No bodies, no signs of struggle, no blood. Nothing but a thick, heavy silence that hung in the air, as if time itself had abruptly ceased. From that moment forward, Kafor transformed from a quiet village into an enduring mystery that baffled Sweden and all who heard its tale. As news of Kafor's disappearance spread, investigative teams from local authorities swiftly arrived at the scene. They cautiously entered the village, but found everything eerily in its place. Family registers, clothing, tools, even children's toys remained untouched in their homes, as if the residents had simply walked away from their lives without a moment's notice. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken doors, no evidence of resistance or violence. The hearths were cold, yet a faint scent of recent ash lingered in the air, suggesting that the last meal had been prepared just hours before the discovery. Extensive search operations were launched in the surrounding forests, stretching for days and then weeks, involving police dogs and civilian volunteers. But their efforts yielded nothing. No bodies were found, no traces of a mass exodus, no makeshift camps or signs of life beyond the village borders, not even the tracks of a recently departed cart. Most disturbingly, even the police dogs, upon reaching the village's edge, would simply stop and sit silently, unable to pick up any human scent whatsoever, as if hundreds of souls had simply evaporated into thin air. Over 2 centuries later, the disappearance of the inhabitants of Kafor remains an unsolved puzzle, baffling all who encounter its tale. Despite the absence of conclusive evidence, several theories have emerged, attempting to explain what might have occurred. Firstly, the theory of a mass escape or a religious sect. Some researchers believe that the villagers fled voluntarily, perhaps sensing an impending danger or receiving a cryptic threat that compelled them to a collective departure. 19th century accounts spoke of a secret religious sect residing in Kafor, rumored to have vanished in response to a prophecy or a spiritual command. However, the problem lies in the fact that no trace of them has ever been found anywhere. No bodies, no camps, not even indications of a means of transport. Secondly, an unconventional natural disaster. Hypotheses have been put forth suggesting a sudden and unusual natural catastrophe, a leak of poisonous gas from the earth, or a rapid landslide that swallowed the village whole. Yet, the area's topography showed no signs of such an event, and the animals exhibited no symptoms of poisoning. Everything remained in its place, as if time had frozen, rendering this theory largely unconvincing. Thirdly, supernatural forces or mysterious entities. Here, legends begin to intertwine with the facts. Some locals believe that the forest surrounding Kafor is haunted, inhabited by an entity known as the Silent Dweller, said to lure villagers into the woods, never to return. Others believe that unseen creatures, such as the shadowy figures or malevolent spirits, were responsible for the disappearance of the residents. Several witnesses claimed to have heard strange whispers or seen unexplained lights in the sky in the days leading up to the incident. Fourthly, an unconventional scientific theory: alien abduction or another dimension. The most outlandish theory, yet one that has been considered, is a mass disappearance caused by the intervention of extraterrestrial beings. No signs of struggle, no bodies, a disappearance in the blink of an eye. Some suggest that the village fell into a temporal anomaly or an interdimensional gateway. Perhaps the residents of Kafor are still alive, but in a parallel dimension beyond our perception. Even some local fishermen claimed to have seen ghostly figures resembling the villagers wandering in the forest fog, only to vanish moments later. Whatever the truth may be, no one to this day knows exactly what happened in Kafor. But one thing is certain: the village did not disappear due to ordinary circumstances. Amidst the ruins of Kafor, a cryptic manuscript was discovered, inscribed with bizarre symbols and an unintelligible language that remains undeciphered. Was it a warning from ancient forces lurking in the shadows, or simply a peculiar tale penned by one of the villagers before their vanishing? But the enigma doesn't end there. Following the Kafor incident, reports surfaced of strange disappearances of individuals from neighboring villages, most notably those who had visited Kafor in the days leading up to the event. Local folklore also speaks of a being called the Hulder, a forest spirit who fiercely protects the trees and avenges those who trespass against them. Some whisper that the inhabitants of Kafor may have angered the Hulder by felling sacred trees and hunting specific animals. Could this have been the curse that led to their demise? The puzzle remains unsolved, the line between fact and legend blurred, the truth hidden deep within the shadowed woods. 3 years after the incident, the Swedish authorities officially declared the village of Kafor an abandoned zone, forbidding anyone from residing there or rebuilding. It remained as it was found, silent, forgotten, and slowly reclaimed by nature. Over time, the village crumbled into ruins, overgrown with trees, as if nature itself sought to conceal the traces of what had transpired. In the 20th century, official attempts were made to survey the area, but no human remains were ever recovered. Despite the Earth's silence, the echo of the story never truly faded. Rare visitors spoke of hushed whispers on the night air or an inexplicable feeling of dread upon entering the village site. The tale of Kafor evolved into a living legend within Swedish culture, inspiring films, books, and becoming a cautionary symbol of cursed places. And while scientists have attempted to unravel the mystery, the answer remains elusive. It was as if the village had vanished not only from the map, but also from the very fabric of time. In conclusion, the story of Kafor is not just a simple tale of disappearance, but a genuine enigma that continues to baffle us to this very day. Personally, I believe that a profound force or secret lies behind this vanishing, perhaps connected to a realm we do not fully comprehend, be it an ancient curse or a paranormal phenomenon. But whatever the truth, the story of Kafor serves as a stark reminder that there are dark corners in our history that remain undiscovered. What are your thoughts? Do you believe that the disappearance of 100 people at once can occur without a logical explanation? And is there someone who knows the truth and is keeping it hidden? Share your opinions in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because together we will continue to uncover new secrets and even more mysterious and chilling stories. Let's continue our exploration into the labyrinths of the unknown. where terror lurks in the shadows. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.